take this pooling of knowledge forward. And I was wondering, Fabiola, how does CERN deal with inclusivity? I mean, it was built as a European institution to attract scientists from all around the world. We've heard, you know, not just one hub, but many hubs around the world. So how can one do that? How is that inclusivity of the global north and the global south? How can we push for that? And how does CERN do it?
Thank you, Ilona. Well, this is a little bit in our DNA. You know, CERN was founded in 1954. At that time, it was like now, just after a big crisis, World War II. And the visionary scientists and politicians who decided to build a new lab in Europe wanted to achieve two things. On one hand, bring back scientific excellence in Europe after the war, where several scientists had left Europe. And on the other hand, use science to promote peaceful collaboration among countries. Science can be a glue because science is universal and unifying. The laws of science are the same here in China, in the US. So, and also the thirst, the wish of understanding how things work, be it in physics, in health, etc., is an aspiration that is common to everyone. So science can be a glue. Diversity and inclusion come from the fact that when you create an environment that really is open and free and welcoming for everybody, where there are no barriers, there are no, no discrimination, no bias, conscious or unconscious. So this, I think, it's a very important recipe to have everyone on board. And it's built with time. Now, CERN has 67 years of history, but with time, with this kind of rich and stimulating environment, a hub like the WHO hub can become the place where everybody wants to be.
Thank you. So having that attractor function to say, you know, this is where I really want to be. Sabine, I'd like to pick up something you alluded to, but maybe you want to say a word or two. Do we also have to develop new areas of science, maybe new disciplines? There are words that I know in our pre-discussion you used in terms of a new field of study of science. Tell us about that.
I don't think we need new disciplines. We rather need connecting them, right? So the planetary crisis that we're facing can only be solved with a planetary perspective. And often when we look at health, we take a biomedical perspective, focusing on the micro level. And that's great, that brought us great successes, vaccines, etc., but it's insufficient. Of course, like our health is shaped by the way we live, eat, work, interact with our environment. And in this globalized world, many of the drivers for health are increasingly transnational. And infections are obvious, but also other things like tobacco control. And therefore, global health is such an important field of research and action. But I think we need to broaden the perspectives even further and realize that our health, our societies, our economies totally depend on functioning ecosystems, on a stable climate. Our health depends on a healthy planet. And this planetary health concept that you're alluding to takes that into account and is kind of the broadest possible macro perspective on health. And it also links together these different dimensions of the crisis.
Thank you. We're coming to the close of the panel, and I would first, Chikwe, before I give you the last word, ask each of the panelists to say, what is the first thing Chikwe should do as a director? Katalin.
That's Fabiola, maybe you were the first one.
Viola, what's the first thing he should do?
I think, first of all, he can lead by example, because what he did already is very, very remarkable. I think what is important